Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MMA veteran Brian Foster. Brian, how are you?
Good, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Brian, you recently picked up a win May 16th at Titan FC 28. You defeated Gilbert Smith by unanimous decision. How pleased were you with your performance in the fight?
Personally, man, it wasn't my best. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had a little bit of a size advantage on me, which I'm used to that, but he just, he drugged me out, man. He drugged me out to my first ever 15-minute fight decision, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did well, man. I just got to say it wasn't my best, you know? Right. I think I could do better.
Right. Now, you brought up that this is the first time that you've fought to a decision. Did he surprise you? Did you think that he was going to put up that kind of fight?
He surprised me by the ass, to tell you the truth. I mean, like I've finished people with less, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for him to stick it out and go that long with me, it's kudos to him, man. You know, he's made it longer than anybody else I've ever fought, so.
Mm-hmm. You had him in some pretty bad situations. You had some submissions that were locked on that I thought you would have got him to tap with or put him to sleep, but for whatever reason, he was able to get out of them, and he showed great heart. How close were some of these submissions? Did you feel that you had some of them locked on, or was there some room? Because sometimes on camera, and when we're watching on TV, they seem a little tighter than they really are. So were you close with any of these submissions?
Yeah, that triangle at the beginning was locked off completely. You know, it was under the neck. I had his arm fully pulled across. Man, he's just so broad that I just couldn't get the angle right, man. Like he stood up, he kept pushing away, kept defending. I had his hair cut off. He held his breath for a little while. I let go of the choke, or I didn't let go of it. I just went on and held it and elbowed him a few times. You know, softened him up a little bit, see if I can get the angle. But you know, he muscled out of it. You know, I ran some transitions, and, you know, he kept me on my back and kept me fucking, sorry about that. He kept me, you know, he kept me going, you know what I mean? He had a lot of heart, he kept fighting, and, you know, I just didn't pull it together to finish. Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed.
He actually had me in an armbar in the third round.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty tight, too.
Yep.
So.
I was actually very impressed with your performance. I know you said that you felt that it wasn't your best performance, but I was really impressed. You know, you showed a very well-rounded game. Your striking looked very good. Grappling, submissions, transitions, you know, everything I thought looked pretty solid. Now, I'm just curious, what was the game plan going into the fight?
Well, to keep him from taking me down was my biggest thing. I didn't want him laying on me, which took place a few times in the fight. A lot of wrestling defense, man. Keep him at a distance from my striking, defend the shot, and just pick him apart and hopefully get the finish some way, some form or fashion. We were prepared to be on our back, though. You know what I mean? In case he got us there, we ran our jiu-jitsu technique a lot, and you know that's what allowed me to transition and apply submissions as fast and as simultaneously as I did, which I guess kept me on the offensive. You know what I mean? Even though he was on top, he really wasn't doing much. He allowed me to kind of go from one thing to another, and allowed me to work from the bottom. So just pretty much take down the fence and jiu-jitsu, man. You know, it's all you can really do with a big guy like that. You know.
Right. Now, I can't remember what round it was. It was either the second round. I want to say the second round. He hit you with a low blow. Now, from the angle in which the ref was looking at the fight, it looked like the ref thought that he caught you to the body, and that's what made you stop. What do you think the ref saw? Do you think that he saw what I think he saw, or yeah? Go ahead.
Behind me, he seen me throw the kick. You know what I'm saying? But he never seen the low blow. You know what I mean? Right. I understand from the angle that he was standing at, he couldn't see it, and you never know if it's a nut shot or if it's a gut shot that's gonna, that drops him like that. You know what I mean? I've had people fold over off body shots like that too. Right. You know, but it stunned me. It took some wind out of my sails, and it kind of dropped me to my knees a little bit. And he followed up with some evil intentions. You know what I mean? He did what the ref told him to. He kept going and followed up and delivered some damage. But I was able to fight through it, man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As soon as it clicked on me, all I can think about was go, go, go. And I worked my way back to my feet and took him down. So
right. After that strike landed, illegally, a low blow. The ref obviously didn't call it, but, it landed illegally. It is what it is. But you seemed very angry after that happened. You really came back, and it looked like every strike was really thrown with some bad intentions. Were you a little angry when you got hit with that low blow that wasn't called?
Man, that's just me in general. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't want fans to be like boo on any kind of thing, whether it be him, whether it be me. And low blows kind of get frowned upon, and I don't know. There's just several different directions people take them, and it just pisses me off to have to deal with the whole, foul aspect of it all. You know what I mean? You're taking time away from the offense and defense of the game, and it wasn't intentional by any means.
Mm-hmm.
He was just defending himself, and from what I was throwing at him, and it was just unfortunate, man. It landed, and I had to fight my way through something. At some point, everybody's got a chance in a fight, even if it's a low blow. You don't get a point taken right off the bat; you get a warning. So, even if it would have landed out at the proper time, it really would have. I think it worked out pretty well considering that the fight didn't get stopped and there wasn't a break, and
Mm-hmm. Now, round by round, what was your corner telling you? And also, did they think that, maybe since it wasn't called, maybe the judges would have saw that as a body shot and scored that as, him doing some damage to you? Did they think that would have played a factor in scoring of that fight?
No, man, they didn't. They actually told me that, they told me I was up on the scorecards, that I can't let him take me down. I can't let him lay on me this round. They wanted me to step it up in the third, but unfortunately, man, that nut shot in the second round kind of took a little, like I said, some wind out of my sails, man. That's kind of a brutal place to take a shot like that, man, and it kind of tore me up a little bit for a second, kind of hazed me out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But other than that, no damage suffered in the fight?
No, none at all, man. I had a couple of bumps and bruises. My elbows were sore, my knees were sore, my shin was sore. I think I kicked him in the knee once. So it just, there was a couple bumps and bruises, man. Nothing out of the ordinary,
Right. Yeah.
Typical bumps and bruises is about it, man.
Right, definitely. I mean, every fight you're going to have some sort of bumps and bruises, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I tell everybody, man, it doesn't matter if you go 15 seconds or 15 minutes, you're still going to feel it.
Right, absolutely. Now, going forward, you're rumored to be a part of a card in Brazil. I think it's called the Hill Fighters 2 card. It's in Brazil. That's what you're rumored to be a part of. Is this a tournament? Because I noticed that you don't have an opponent right now. Is this like a 4-man or 8-man tournament they got going down there?
Man, honestly, I don't have enough information to really throw out details like that. I know they want me to fight. I haven't signed any contracts, so nothing's binding. We haven't talked money. We haven't talked timing. We haven't talked, you know what I mean? So people put shit out there like that all the time in hopes, but as of right now, I'm under contract with World Series of Fighting. Ray Steffels a great guy. I've been working with him and trying to get some stuff settled. That way we can get me back in Vegas and get me back on the big cards. And, I can continue out the rest of my career the way I want to versus, dealing with all the bullshit that I have.
Right. Now, they have you rumored to be fighting at 170, but after the fight against Gilbert Smith, you mentioned that you want to drop down to 155 pounds and fight in that weight class. Are you still open to fighting at 170?
Yeah, man, it's all about the money, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really don't care. I'm comfortable fighting at 70, but I know what the UFC wants. And I'm totally game. You know what I mean? I want back in the UFC. I want the World Series of Fighting strap, and then I want back in the UFC. It doesn't really matter to me, man. I just want to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight at 85. I'll fight at 205. Mm-hmm. You just give me a name and a number, and let's talk details. You know what I mean? But
right.
No, as far as fighting at 70, man, I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. I'd fight whoever right now. You know what I mean? I'm still in great shape after that fight. I felt like it's eating at me because, like I said, man, it's not my best performance. You know what I mean? I did get the win. I thought I lost. After the nut shot, everything kind of went blurry to me. Mm-hmm. Everything before and after, it kind of just went, like I said, hazy. And I kind of, at the end of it all, I thought I lost. So,
right. Oh, I see. Now,
unanimous decision, and I was kind of shocked, but it is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned that you want to drop down to 155. That's what you told Stephan Bonner after the fight when he interviewed you. You said you want to go down to lightweight. Why lightweight? Why did you decide now in your career it's the time to move down in a weight class? Is it just the sign of the times these guys at welterweight keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it would make sense for you to go down? Or is it a weight class that you should have been fighting at all this time? Why go down to lightweight right now?
Yeah, that's what they say. They say, everybody's always told me that my entire career since I started, man, that I you should fight at 55, you should fight at 55. And I've actually fought at 55 3 times now. I'm 2-1. And, right now it's just all about doing what the big leagues want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's my main goal. It's my primary objective. I want to redo it, man. I'll let the UFC on a win streak. I feel like they owe me a fight in a way. For another chance, another opportunity to prove myself and, make some good money, fight good guys. Mm-hmm. I understand about their health issues and all that shit, but, man, I'm 100% healthy. I'm ready to go. Just fought a beast coming from them. I just don't, all the ducks get in a row, man, and I'll be back on a big show.
Right.
At 55.
Right.
When you see me on the big show, I'll be at 55, whether it's World Series of Fighting or the UFC. As far as small shows go and shit, I'll fight whoever, whenever, at whatever weight.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm just curious, how difficult is it for you to watch a guy like Matt Brown still fighting in the UFC, doing well, a guy that you hold a win over, and you're in a weird situation because you didn't leave the UFC because you couldn't cut it and you lost a bunch of fights and they decided to show you the door. You left on a totally different issue, something that was outside of the cage. Is it difficult for you to watch guys that you hold wins over or other guys that, maybe you watch and be like, you know what, I could be doing that. Is it difficult for you to see that stuff go on, or do you not even worry about what anyone else is doing?
It's like the MMA is like that, man. Everybody's getting better. The people that stick with it the longest and the people that go through, the hard times and they battle back through them, those are the toughest guys, you know what I mean? And Matt Brown, after getting beat by me, and getting beat by Seth, he's pulled his stuff together, man. He's actually worked on his game a little bit more. And honestly, to be truthful with you, man, he hasn't fought anybody that's fucking anybody. I mean, honestly, the guy, he's not fighting badass wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? He fought a couple good jiu-jitsu guys with shitty stand-up, and he's a stand-up fighter. So, I see that to be a fluke. You got him placed above Damian Maia, and I honestly think Damian Maia gets rid of him faster than I did. I think that the UFC's babied him up to the point that he's about to get his ass whooped by Robbie. Robbie's my teammate. Robbie's somebody that I've learned from the entire time, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
I had a lot of respect for Robbie, but I'm going to tell you right now, Matt Brown's in for an ass whooping with that dude right there, man. And having to watch that dude doing what he's done and what I did to him, it pisses me off, dude. It pisses me off so bad to the point where I want to throw my phone against the wall right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can't stand the fact that I'm sitting out here having to follow these fucking scrubs, and the guy that I beat is one fight away from a title shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just aggravates the shit out of me, dude. Like, I'm supposed to sit back. I never lost. It's like, I just get punched in the nuts and sit home. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. I didn't know it was.
Oh, it just aggravates the shit out of me, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Sorry. Yeah.
It really does. I mean, I got all the respect in the world for everybody that fights, man. Don't get me wrong, but the politics of this shit is killing me.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm very curious because since you left the UFC, it's been kind of a wild ride for you. You left the UFC, then you signed with Bellator. Let's go at it step by step. What happened with Bellator? You signed with them, but we've never seen you fight for them.
I signed a contract with Bellator. My first fight was scheduled to be in Connecticut.
Right.
The Mohegan Sun, with the Mohegan Sun Casino or whatever.
Yep.
Or Tribal Commission. I don't know. Either way, they placed me on suspension based off what the UFC released me for.
Mm-hmm.
I never failed another MRI. I never failed, any tests. I never failed any physicals. I'm 100% healthy, and this guy doesn't even know me, but goes off my medical history and then places me on national suspension. You know what I mean? So, therefore, after he placed me on national suspension, Bellator opted to release me until the health issues were handled completely, in which case they have been and were then. And now, you know what I mean? Now Bellator don't even want to touch me, which I really care less because I'm with World Series of Fighting. Like I said, I just wish them dudes would throw a little bit more fights a little faster and get me in there.
Right.
But, man, that went downhill fast. And then after Bellator, I got stuck in, like I said, he placed me on national suspension. I couldn't fight in the States for a year. And so I had to fight elsewhere. And in which case, a couple months after my release from Bellator, I jumped down to Mexico in a little, international little tournament. And 16 guys, I want to say, yeah. And 16 guys, 4 weeks, one winner, 100,000. I won that. came back. I lost to Daniel Roberts, and then I've won, I don't know, 5 or 6 since then. Since my release from the UFC, man, I'm 12-1.
Right. Now, between MMA fights, you took a fight with Glory, the kickboxing organization. Was that just to sharpen up for MMA, or were you trying to make a run in kickboxing?
I just got asked to fight, and they said dude was a badass, so I was like, whatever. I'm a fighter, dude. I don't care. If you ask me to fight somebody, I'm going to fight somebody to show me some money. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, they're the kind of stupid-ass people that want to bring an 0-0 guy in and put him against a 26-0 guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doesn't sound too legit on my part. Everybody was asking, well, which I didn't even know. I mean, I guess that comes up to being my fault, really, for not really looking into who the hell he was or what he was good at. I mean, I watched him and didn't see anything special about him other than the fact that he was undefeated in kickboxing and 0-1 in MMA. So, so now I'm 0-1 kickboxing and I'm badass in MMA. So, kind of vice versa. It is what it is.
What exactly?
I hate that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, what about the commission? Why didn't they step in? I mean, obviously the promoter, they're going to do whatever they want to do. It's the commission's job to step in and say, hey, this is, this guy is a lot more experienced than this guy, 26 fights to making his debut in kickboxing. Why didn't they step in and say something?
But that's the thing, though. I think that my MMA record sufficed enough for them to actually allow the combat.
Oh. Okay.
Go on. I don't know, man. I lost to one of the best. I lost to a world champion taekwondo guy and one of the top kickboxers in the world. You know what I mean? It's not something to be ashamed of, but I don't like it.
Right. Now, since you left the UFC, you had one loss. It was to Daniel Roberts in January of 2013. You lost to him in Oklahoma. I'm just curious, how big of a setback was that? In the grand scheme of things, you're on a great run right now. 12-1 since leaving the organization, but they break down every fight. Joe Silva, those guys over there, they're the best at what they do. They diagnose everything. How big of a setback was that? Looking at trying to get back to a big show. How heavily does that weigh, or what you've done besides that just completely outweighs it? How much of a setback was that?
It was definitely a setback. I don't know as to how far. I have had somebody in contact with Joe Silva, and he even said, after that Daniel's loss, kind of set me back a little bit, and he'd like to see me at 55. He'd like to give me a couple wins, and we'll see what we can do. Man, everyone's going to get beat, dude. He knew he had to get me on the floor. I made a mistake.
Right.
Backward ass hip toss, pulled him right on top of me pretty much, circle, gave him my back, stood up with him, and he was about to fall off my back, man. I went to shuck him. When I shucked him, he re-sucked up and sunk in the rear naked choke and finished me standing. So, kudos to that cocksucker, too.
Right. Now, you signed with World Series of Fighting a long time ago. It seems, when exactly did that happen? Because it seems like forever I've been waiting to see you make your debut. When did that get signed?
For World Series?
Yeah.
We signed back in February, I think, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Ray's working on it right now. I've been in touch with him a few times, and he's in the midst of working on it. He's pretty excited to have me at 55 and see what I can come in and do. Which I was pretty excited to go in at 70 too. There's a couple guys that I would like to fight at 70, but 55 is where I'm at. And that's where I want to be anyway. Just to give it a shot, man. Just go back at it.
So Titan, that was just a one-off with them.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they kind of thought I was going to lose too because Gilbert being such a big name coming off the Ultimate Fighter and off the show, and he was on a 3 or 4 fight win streak, and so they were looking at if he beat me. I'm pretty sure the UFC might have gave him a shot at 170 in the UFC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I totally felt like that because he was at 85 pretty much his entire career, and then he drops to 70, gets a couple wins, and I seen where his camp was taking it. He's very, very. He's got a really great camp, man. X Factory, them guys are up there doing big things, and I'm actually looking at trying to go train with them gentlemen now that me and Gilbert have done fought and stuff like that. They handle business really well. So I think that had he beaten me, man, he was in the UFC, and so I kind of derailed them plans a little bit, and hopefully I sucked a little bit of limelight away from it, and upped myself a little bit more with the bigger shows. So I really don't know where I stand with everybody as of right now. I'm just kind of going with it, going to work every day, chilling with my family and kids, and waiting for the next opportunity. If all else fails, if they don't get me lined out for World Series of Fighting by August, I'm looking at August 2nd for Victory again, defending my title.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You got their welterweight title. That's the plan. Defend that.
Yeah, August 2nd. We're trying to get everything worked out for August 2nd against Josh Neer.
Ooh, great fight.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight, man. I think I think if I can get in there and beat up on somebody like Josh Neer, or it's going to be a badass fight. By no means is Josh Neer an easy opponent, laid off or anything of that sort. It's just dangerous all around. So I think that kind of fight right there gives me the incentive I need to ask for a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's make it happen. That's a great fight. I'd love to see that fight.
Oh, I know, man. I've watched Josh for a really long time, man. I got a lot of respect for the guy. I had to kind of talk a little bit of shit about him in order to get everything lined up. You know what I mean? Kind of, pour a little gas on the fire kind of thing.
Right.
He just had his nose redone. It's what fighters usually do towards the end of their career or whatever. And he asked me about fighting Josh Neer, and I said, didn't he just get his nose done? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, I don't think he's going to want to fucking fight me then. And he's like, man, that'd be expensive. I said, what, his nose job or the fight? So I can see Ryan showing Neer those text messages and stuff like that, and kind of piss him off a little bit and get some fire and get a fire lit up under his butt. You know what I mean? And get him some I don't know, give him a little boost of courage to come in there and jump in there with me, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Right. Well, that's a great fight. I really hope that they can put that together. I mean, I'd love to see in World Series of Fighting, but if I can't see that, then the Josh Neer fight is the next best thing. So I really hope they can put that.
Or the World Series Victory, they're a great show too, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm really proud to hold their title. I'm really proud to be their champion. Like, them guys have been really, really class acts, man. They're a UFC feeder show. So, UFC watches their fights really closely. The guy that I beat for the title was Jay Wood. He was 8-1 and beating up UFC dudes, and I think they thought he was going to come in and beat me up, man. But it doesn't matter how long that you think I've been off, man. I'm always training. I'm in the gym every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm at wrestling practice every day with my kids. MMA and mixed martial arts is a big part of my life, man. So it doesn't matter if you think I'm out of shape. You're completely mistaken. And that's what I look forward to all my opponents thinking. They think, oh, Brian's been laid off. You look at my record, it's like, because some of the fights haven't been added to my record, the Mexico thing.
Right.
And it looks like I had an extended period of time where I took off, you know what I mean? And them guys were looking at it and like, oh, we haven't fought in this long, and da-da-da-da. Man, you probably should look at social media a little more.
Right. Why do you...
No, it's all working out, man. There's a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of opportunities still on the table for me. I just got to be able to just stay healthy, battle the politics, flip the bird to the haters and just keep on throwing blows, man.
Right. Brian, we're running a little bit over time, but just a couple more questions. I really appreciate you. I know you're a busy guy. I really appreciate you taking the time on short notice here. But a couple questions before I let you go. Why do you think that you're flying under the radar? Because, you came from a very weird situation because you, like I mentioned, you left the UFC with it having nothing to do with your fighting. You were on a nice little run there. You beat Forrest Petz and you beat Matt Brown. You would think that a guy who left the UFC on a great run and is doing great now, 12-1 since leaving the organization, would be getting a lot more credit than you're getting right now. Why do you think that is? Is it because you're fighting on the smaller shows, or is it because of another reason? Why do you think
it's because of the medical history, man? It's battling the politics, the commissions, and all that stuff. When something like a brain injury arises, man, they take it 100% serious. And it's understandable completely. But in my situation, I've been to the best doctors in the world. I'm talking like I've been to the number one neurologist on the planet, and the guy said I'm fine.
Right.
But getting these dudes to take his word for it, dude, it's crazy, man. I just don't understand it myself. I'm just as baffled by it as you are. Honestly, to tell you the truth, hell, I'm just country. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm just a little guy beating up everybody they putting up in front of me or trying to. It's up to them whether they want me to fight for them or not, man. I'm going to keep on fighting, and they're going to keep on fighting me back on trying to fight. So, somebody's got to give in at some point in time and give me a damn chance. That's all I want. I think I deserve that shit. So.
definitely.
You got me a little fired up about that Matt Brown shit, man. It's gonna be on my mind all day now.
Sorry. I hear so many fighters, they just say, it doesn't bother them, but I'm glad that you were honest about it. I'm glad that it does bother you. Like it would bother me. It would bother me. I can't. It would bother me.
Let me give you a little insight on this real quick before we have to go. Robbie Lawler's the one that helped me train to beat Matt Brown, and now Matt Brown's about to get his ass whooped by Robbie.
Right.
That's not a good fight for old Matt Brown, man.
Right.
Everybody's about to see that he shouldn't be top 10. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he should be, but maybe I should be too. Hell, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not really on the politics side of things. All I just want to do is fight, win, and make some money.
Right. Well, I'm sorry I didn't enhance your day, but I appreciate you taking time.
It's a thorn in my side to have to watch it. It got posted this morning, and I seen something about it, and I hadn't really thought about it, and then you brought it up, and it's like, damn, man, okay, well, you want to know how pissed off it makes me? It makes me pretty mad.
All right.
Watch him go through guys like Mike Pyle, and just now beat up Eric Silva, who was on who was an up-and-coming, contender himself. I'm sure kid's young, so he's got plenty of big-time future ahead of him, but to see him beating up guys like that, man, it aggravates me. It makes me wish that, I still had my chance, I still had my opportunity, because I think that I still could, I think I could fare well with those guys, man.
Mm-hmm. Leave me with this question, because I'm very curious about it now that you brought it up again, the whole Matt Brown thing. If you were still in the UFC, like if this whole brain injury thing didn't happen and you were still a part of the organization, would you be down at 155, or is that something that's a byproduct of you being outside the organization trying to get back in? What would you be doing right now if you were still with the UFC?
Whatever they wanted. Do you know what I mean? Joe Silva's a great guy, man, and they're very, very fight smart. So, they see things from the outside. I can't see things from the outside. The way I feel has a big factor playing in it. But at some point, you gotta consider the outside factor, man. And a lot of guys have told me, they're like, Brian, the guys are getting bigger. Everybody's starting to drop more weight, and you're going to get put on your back with these wrestlers, and we can work wrestling defense all day long, man, but when strength comes into play, defense don't work that well with a stronger guy. So, the factor comes in, they want me to be just as fast, just as strong, and a little bit bigger. So that's primarily what our objective is, man. Just to be a little bit bigger, just as quick, and just as strong, and go in and try to take some titles,
Mm-hmm. Brian, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Man, I'd like to thank everybody that watches and supports me, man. It's been a hell of a road. It's been long and drawn out, and I just want to, say thanks to all the people that have stuck behind me and supported me through the whole thing and still believe in me and know that I have what it takes to be the best. Couple sponsors, yeah, man. Allstate Construction, real big part of what I do. My boss, he lets me off to go train and fight and everything else, you know what I mean, and takes care of me. Amco Electric, Kennel Fight Club, Diamond Cups, and who else, man? There's a lot of them, bro. Anybody and everybody, like I said, man, anybody and everybody that supports me, man, and I thank you guys very much for calling me and letting me be a part of your show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Brian, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. I can't wait to see you back in the cage, whether it's against Josh Neer August 2nd for victory, defending your belt, or down in Brazil at this tournament they have you linked to, or fighting in World Series of Fighting, whatever it is, whenever it is. I really look forward to seeing you back in the cage and appreciate your time today.
Hey, man, I sure appreciate it. Thanks for having me, buddy.